Hey YouTube, coming at you with my third HIsui Cup team that got me to veteran 2505, Vespiquen, Lucario, and Gastrodon. So because I knew that Gastrodon's going to be everywhere because Drapion was everywhere, Vespiquen seems like a great one because it's just a Mud Slap user that resists, it's a bug flying, so it double resists Mud Slaps, which is such a dominant thing to have. So then I was like, okay, what are your weaknesses here? And I think I messed. There's one Pokemon I did not think of that is extremely tough for this team, and so you might want to modify the team a bit, and that is Drifblim, which is funny because I just used it the other day. But Drifblim is very tough because it resists the bug. You do have Power Gem and you outpace to the move, so it's playable. And Lucario does have Thunder Punch, but then Force Palm is resisted, and then Mud Slap, Body Slam, and Earth Power resisted. So definitely an issue there if you want to modify the team to be able to deal with Drifblim. But otherwise, you know. You got a couple Pokemon in the back to deal with, like Drapion. Lucario is pretty hard hitting. Gastrodon is just, I think, very good in this meta. And then Vespiquen, which deals with a lot of the ground and other type Pokemon like that. So Abomasnow comes in and will be punished here with Lucario. I can take any move. Every move is resisted. Grass, Ice are both resisted. So there's a Weather Ball. That is fine. Take it down. If Vespiquen comes in, I could have thrown Thunder Punch to hit super effective. It is just a Dust Noir, and I decided that the double Thunder Punch is probably more valuable than just one Shadow Ball. So I grab one shield, chip there. I'm just going to put in Gastrodon here, knowing that Gastrodon is essentially useless in the mirror match at the front there, like against Vespiquen, which is right here. And because I have shield advantage and a power gem, I know that I'm in a pretty good spot here. Obviously, with only extra 3 turns to get to the move here, it is not worth baiting. They do get to a move. I'll respect. I assume I'll respect? Yeah. I'll respect the power gem. Now, X-Scissor, like, it's Bug Fury Cutter and X-Scissor are resisted, but they were so low that it does not matter. Another mirror match. Yes, people kind of recognize that this Pokemon is a nice answer for Gastrodon and a few others. Get to the power gem first. I was surprised. I remember landing like 3 of these, and I was so surprised. Like, why we're in a mirror match? Did you really think I was gonna bait against a flyer? So I don't know what they were thinking. Get to move here. I should probably think about getting out. I'm actually surprised I'm staying in this matchup. Lucario resists the rock. Gastrodon resists the rock. Yeah, there we go. Finally make the switch in Lucario. And they call it quits because there we go. Yeah. And I had a lot of fast matchups. I got like 12. Usually have about 9 to 10 matchups. I have 12 matchups in this because there was a lot of like that. The matchups lasted like a minute and a half. Lucario is pretty glossy. This thing is pretty spammy. And they just let me hit on these power gems. Abomasnow comes in. I'm going to have to play this out. Yes, I'm weak to ice, but they are weak to Fury Cutter and X-Scissor, so I can just kind of stay in this matchup and chip a bunch. Don't do it. I can see my thought process already, maybe getting to Lucario, but I should just play this out. But okay, going straight Lucario. It's a Quailfish in the back, so that is great. They can only throw Aqua Tail. Force Palm is neutral on the Dark Ghost. Dark Poison. Dark Poison. And that will chip, take it out. Abomasnow is just going to be deleted here. And there we go. 2 very quick matchups to go 3-0. I started very strong with this, which is why I'm up to 2505. Drapion. I showed the first one, and I've mentioned this multiple times. So if you're new to this channel, you may be asking, hey, and the defense did fall. So the defense did fall. And yes, that got nerfed this season. But even in previous seasons, I always would shield that up. And you may be wondering, why are you shielding up the first crunch when they could potentially lower your defense and then make it easier to take out? And the reason I do that is because if they do land a crunch, it won't one-shot, but it'll take you down to like 75, 80%. Like, it'll take you down like to the red, deep yellow or red. And if they hit, maybe not deep yellow, maybe not deep red, wow, maybe not red, but like at least deep yellow. And if they do that, it then becomes extremely easy for them to only need to go Aqua Tail to take you out. So I would much rather shield up the 5-turn move, forcing them to go for another like 5, so like 10-turn move, forcing them to go another 10 turn move as opposed to having them land a 10 and then being able to go just an 8 turn move and then me potentially be like, oh, do I need to shield here? So that is why I always usually shield the move. So I do that on like another example is Morpeko against the Jumpluff matchup. You'll see constantly if I'm the Jumpluff, even though Aura Wheel boosts, I'm almost always shielding that first Aura Wheel, because if they land an Aura Wheel, it is very easy for them just to go Psychic Fangs the second time. So that's my preference. Doesn't need to be yours, but that's just my thought process. Gliscor. I didn't think about these Pokemon. Gliscor, the Pokemon on my first team, and Drifblim, the Pokemon on my second team. So Flyer, resisting the bug, resisting the fighting, resisting the ground. So Flyers are a menace for this team. So you may want to adjust one of these Pokemon to deal with Flyers here. In my next video, you're going to see Mamoswine. I kind of work through the thought process of like, is Mamoswine a core breaker? And it kind of is. I used it though. And not surprisingly, a Mamoswine in a 1500 CP league is very glassy and definitely has some issues. So I'll go over that probably this afternoon before we start showcasing other people's teams. Gallade, also kind of a tricky one. Close Combat and Leaf Blade are resisted here, so I'm okay taking any move. And unfortunately, they do snipe with the Gliscor. It is just a Night Slash. Did they just boost for a second time? Get the X-Scissor off. It is resisted. We'll see what's in the back. Drapion with the shield is going to dominate Lucario just on the speed alone of these things. So there's your first Aqua Tail. I thought Force Palm was a better move. I swear it was a quicker charging move, but apparently not. I don't know why I thought it was like Poison Sting, because it does deal a good amount of damage. And I will go down here. Abomasnow, again, we'll have to play this out because Gastrodon has a terrible matchup. So I don't want to get stuck on that. So I might as well just keep it in the even matchup here. Both have weaknesses throwing at each other, so it's kind of neutral. I spam in 10, they spam in 10. Can maybe catch later if I need to. You know, I gotta hope. So why did I do in the game what I just said not to do here? And I think the rationale at the time was, if I get a couple Force Palms off, I can basically put it just in Mud Slap Body Slam range. Still, it's a pretty risky play, so I don't know if I even like that, what I did there. So getting this X-Scissor off, Abomasnow does go down, and thankfully it is a Gastrodon in the back. Nope, it is a Drapion in the back against my Gastrodon, which means that I'm okay, but a Crunch lands. I'm going to have to throw at least, just a Body Slam, just a chip, or grab that shield. Likely to grab a shield, because then if not, I'll Mud Slap down. So yeah, force that shield. They're going to get off another move. If it's a Crunch, it probably takes me out, but then I should be able to Fury Cutter down before they get to a third move. I've actually not used Drapion yet. I've done 4 teams, like another one you're going to see this afternoon with Mamoswine. I've done 4 teams and I have not used Drapion yet. Interesting. Here's the Drifblim, but this is what I'm talking about. Power Gem just outpaces to the Icy Wind when they're using Astonish, and it lands, which is huge. But now what? Yeah, I'm still shielding anyways because I have nowhere else to go. I could probably go, can I probably go X-Scissor here? It is double resisted on the Ghost and the Flying, and they lowered my attack, so that is the reason I just go Power Gem. It was a Magnezone in the back. So going into this, so ABA Ghost here, which is brutal for the Vespiquen because I've got nowhere to go. So I'm probably just going to sacrifice it right here and then just try and sweep with Gastrodon, but it's going to be, this thing's got so much energy. I swear, is there Does this happen to you too? There are Pokemon where I use it and I'm like, this thing feels so slow and bulky and garbage. And then I go against them and I'm just like, man, this thing's amazing. And I feel like Dust Noir is one of them. I know it spams at a good rate of like 12 and 15 for the moves. So I know it's in the medium range. It just feels like so slow whenever I use it. And then when my opponent uses it, it's just like, here comes their 17th charge move. Okay, Drapion lead. Well, again, we'll play it out. I don't be surprised if I shield up a crunch here. They try to catch on Licky Licky. And if I remember, I let this go. Okay, good. No, I didn't let this go. I remember letting one go and it landing and one-shotting me. That's just going to be a body slam. They can't get to 2 earthquakes here. So I'll have a ton of energy. We'll see what comes in. It is the Drapion coming in. So we are just going to go Thunder Punch straight away. Yes, the time. I'm not even timing properly. I'm just, putting pressure on. And they give up switch into Drifblim. And I'm able to get to one move here. But again, I will need this to land because I have nowhere to go here. Oh, and it does land. That's actually huge. That is huge that landed. I had nowhere to go. Actually, I said I had nowhere to go, but I forgot that I actually had like a move and a half on this thing already. So I probably could have got to 2 power gems if I needed to. But otherwise, just these X scissors coming very quickly. Gonna grab that last shield on Drapion. So even if you take me out here, which I don't even think a crunch takes out from this range, Aqua Tail most definitely does not. Here comes the second Aqua Tail. And then they're dry. Gastrodon left. Easy takeout there. Lucario. So, I mean, for those of you who've been around since the beginning of the season, and oh god, this is as close to top left as you're going to get. Lucario lead against Vespiquen, and then Gastrodon. Never go into the hardest answer, which is Gastrodon, and of course they're going to have an answer to it, which is Drifblim. So this is a top left. This is a dumb play by myself. But if you've been on this channel since the start of the season, Bug got buffed, amazing. And yes, it has a lot more play. There are still 7 typings that resist it. And a bunch of them, not a bunch of them, but some of them that resist are very prevalent in this meta. Ghost, there's a lot of Ghost. A lot being relative to like the 15 Pokemon that are usable here. There's a lot of Ghosts. And there's a lot of Flying. Again, relative to like the 15 usable Pokemon here. So right off the bat, Vespiquen has some problems with its limitation against the main meta here. So commit 2 shields. Lucario left. Get off 1 Thunder Punch. They take me down. And then I have no moves for this. So Thunder Punches are just going to dominate me here. Abomasnow, we'll play it out again. So I don't know what you do here. I mean, I'm talking about more just GBL in general at this point. You guys get the team. You play... Lucario should mostly be your safe swap on this team because you just saw how Drifblim can just destroy Gastrodon. And yes, you may get like a Gastrodon Lucario, but you have no really other option. Which is why if you may want to put in something like a Drapion instead of Gastrodon or something to have an answer for your flyers like Gliscor and Drifblim and a better safe swap. That's how I would adjust the team to make it better. GBL. On top of the bugs and everything, again, everyone will always complain about the bugs, and rightfully so. They are absolutely brutal. And I hate the spinning ball of death. I hate the 1-turn leg coming in. That seems to be wildly inconsistent, that every time I come in, I don't even have a chance to throw a fast move or charge move, but my opponent seems to get those through constantly. So the inconsistency drives me wild. Just the spinning ball of death, just the bugs, everything that's been here since season 1 that has driven players away is absolutely the biggest problem with this game. The leagues, for me, are the closest 1B you are going to have of problems with this game. I absolutely hate any league that is not an open great league. Any of these limited cups, HIsui Cup, the Sunshine Cup, the Summer Cup, Cup A, B, C, D, and some of those cups actually have like 5 or 6 typings, but it does not matter. Those 5 or 6 typings limit the league to 15 Pokemon. And here we are again with Spiritomb. Spiritomb is one of the 15 in this meta. That's it. You get a league. There are 15 Pokemon that are meta, and it's just a cycle, and people get bored. I know a lot of people have probably weren't around back in the day when GBL was a month and a half long and only the loop around of the leagues. Again, this was, I don't think it can do it now, but at the time it was no XLs. We're talking like season 1, season 2 and stuff. No XL Pokemon, so only level 40 Master League, only level 40 Ultra League, which made both of those a lot more playable, because at the time it was just like Ultra League was your community Pokemon. It was like Swampert was strong, Venusaur was strong, Charizard was strong, you had Dragonite, you had Lapras, you had like just a bunch of very accessible non-XL Pokemon that you can use for Ultra League. And it was the same with Master League. Master League, you need to go to level 40, but it was just your Pokemon that were in all the time. Groudon, Mewtwo, Kyogre, everyone had level 40. Everyone had candies. And even though there weren't a lot of Pokemon at the time, it did not feel as confined as this. And back in the day, you had 2-week cycles for leagues. And it was basically like, I'm trying to remember, I'm 90% sure it was like this, but it was like 2 weeks of Great League, 2 weeks of Ultra League, 2 weeks of Master League, 1 week of all 3, and that was the season. And so there was always basically an accessible option, because at the time, like I said, Ultra League and Master League were very accessible for the players if you had been playing at the time, because there was only so many raids that have come out at the time. There's only so many Pokemon that were viable. The community Pokemon were strong, stuff like that. So it was so different. I understand why they can't just put Great League every week. I understand that if you put Great League every week, you are essentially killing your Ultra League and Master League, right? Because if you give people the option to play Great League every week, 80 to 85% of the player base will play Great League every week, and that would just not have people play Ultra League or Master League. But what I'm finding is, with these limited cups that are paired with the Ultra League and Master League, what happens is people play these limited cups for like 3 days, realize it's 15 Pokemon, and then say, screw this, I'm done. So I would not be surprised, and it's probably the same for me. I've got like maybe one more team left in me, and I'm filming this on Wednesday to go up Thursday. I've got maybe one more team in me today, Wednesday or Thursday, and then I'm done with this league. It's the same 15 Pokemon and stuff like that. So it just, every single time, what's bothering me about GBL is, if you don't play Ultra League and you don't play Master League, which I think the majority of the player base do not, in these limited cups, you are bored with the meta within 2 to 3 days, and then you're done. And you essentially play GBL for the first 2 or 3 days, and then 5 days you're sitting out hoping that the next league is not as boring or Great League comes back. And I just think that is like it's such a bad, and again, I don't even know what their strategy is, if they have a strategy. Their strategy may be like, it's a part of the game, but we actually do not want you to play it because we want you out catching and raiding and stuff. But it's the part of the game that, like, the strategy of the leagues has, in my opinion, killed GBL just as much as the bugs have. These limited cups and the inaccessible Ultra League and Master League. Those are my thoughts though on that. As we wrap up this video, so I did use Mamoswine. I do think it's a very, very strong Pokemon. I used Spiritomb and Mamoswine, and I found both very safe. I found Spiritomb stronger just because Mamoswine is very, very glassy, and the Icicle Spear doesn't hit as hard as you need it to, considering how much damage you take. So I think Mamoswine core breaks a lot more, but it's just very glassy and not as strong to use as Spiritomb. Anyways, that video will be coming this afternoon, so check that out. And then tomorrow, I think I've got a couple Ultra League shot. I know there's a new Pokemon coming in raids on the weekend, which I will showcase. I will just kind of do analysis whether it's good or not, and if it's not good, what it needs to be good. And then we'll showcase other people submitted teams. So link in the description if you want to submit. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.